Let us start ionic equilibrium. In ionic equilibrium, we are continuing titration of weak base versus strong acid. So weak base versus strong acid titration. For weak base, we will take 25 ml of weak base we will take. Concentration is 0.1 molar and weak base is ammonium hydroxide. Okay, then strong acid. Strong acid will take HCl. That concentration is 0.1 molar. Strong acid we have taken HCl. That concentration we have taken how much in the sense 0.1 molar we said. Okay. Now we will do the titration. We will take HCl in the burette. Therefore, we will add here volume of HCl added. We will take volume of HCl added. Here pH of solution will take. Now volume of HCl added is 0 ml we will take. Volume of HCl added is 0 ml. Now what is the pH of solution in the conical flask that we'll see. So in the conical flask, which solution we have taken? Ammonium hydroxide solution. What is the pH of this ammonium hydroxide solution? Let us calculate that. Now ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Therefore, it undergoes partial ionization to give what in the sense ammonium ions and hydroxide ions. Okay. What is the initial concentration of ammonium hydroxide we have taken? 0.1 molar. Is it dissociating completely? No. It is dissociating partially. Why is it so? Because it is weak base. So what is the remaining concentration of ammonium hydroxide at equilibrium? 0.1 minus x molar. What is the concentration of ammonium ion produced? X molar. Hydroxide how much? X molar. Now since it is weak base, we will take equilibrium constant Kb, that is equal to right side we will write in the numerator, that is ammonium ion and hydroxide ion, and the left side we will write in the denominator, that is ammonium hydroxide. Like this we have written. Now we want what in the sense concentration of H plus in order to find pH. Therefore we will substitute OH minus in the place of OH minus, what we will substitute in the sense Kw by H plus we will substitute. Kw by H plus. Why we have substituted in the place of OH minus Kw by H plus? Because Kw is equal to concentration of H plus into concentration of OH minus. Okay. This formula, based on this formula, we have substituted OH minus. Then denominator we will write ammonium hydroxide we will write. Okay. Now we will find H plus we will find. So concentration of H plus is equal to what we can say in the sense concentration of ammonium ion X, Kw is 10 to the power of minus 14 by concentration of ammonium hydroxide is 0.1 minus X. Then Kb, this Kb value we have to substitute. Kb is how much in the sense Kb value we are substituting. Kb is 1.8 into 10 power minus 5. 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 5. Then if we know this X, then we can find concentration of H plus. Shall we say that this X and this X are equal? Okay. Therefore, what we can do in the place of X, we can write OH minus concentration we can write. Isn't it? In the place of this one, we can write OH minus concentration. So OH minus concentration in the sense, this is nothing but OH minus concentration. OH minus concentration means what? Kw by concentration of H plus. Therefore, it is Kw. Therefore, Kw in the sense, let us square it. Let us square it. Now we will cancel X. Have we got idea? Okay, we have cancelled X. That means what we have done? In the place of ammonium ion, we have taken this ammonium ion as hydroxide ion. Since it is hydroxide ion, we will make this is square, this is square. Okay, like this we have done. So ammonium ion will cancel. That means ammonium ion concentration, hydroxide ion concentration are equal. Therefore, we will take this as OH minus square. OH minus square is equal to Kw square by H plus square. So we have written Kw square. by h plus square here. Correct? Sir. Now, since Kw is 10 power minus 5, this x is negligible to 0.1. Therefore, we can say 0.1 minus x is nearly equal to 0.1. So, we can find concentration of H plus. So, concentration of H plus for this solution is 7.45 into 10 to the power of minus 12. From this, we are finding pH. The pH is equal to 11.13. Okay, so we got pH of solution. pH of solution is how much in the sense 11.13 we can say. So in the conical flask, what solution is there? Ammonium hydroxide solution. That ammonium hydroxide solution is a base. Therefore, we got pH as 11.13. That means greater than 7 we got because it is base. Okay. Then let us start adding HCl. Let us start adding HCl into this conical flask solution. So now we will start adding HCl into this conical flask solution. Okay, so now let us add HCl. Okay, we are going on adding HCl drop by drop. We reached 2.5 ml. What is the meaning of that? That means so far we added 2.5 ml of HCl into conical flask solution ammonium hydroxide. Due to addition of HCl into ammonium hydroxide, what will happen? Ammonium hydroxide is a base, HCl is acid. So between them, acid base neutralization is possible. Okay. So that acid base neutralization we'll see. Okay. So now we will see that acid base neutralization between acid and base. What is the acid here in the sense HCl? What is the base in the sense weak base ammonium hydroxide? Between them reaction takes place. What is formed, do you think? Ammonium chloride and water. Okay, salt ammonium chloride is formed and water is formed. Okay, so now ammonium hydroxide we have taken how much in the conical flask? 25 ml. 25 ml ammonium hydroxide we have taken. What is the concentration of ammonium hydroxide? 0.1 molar. Multiply these two, you will get millimoles of ammonium hydroxide. Okay. So we got millimoles of ammonium hydroxide. So how many millimoles of ammonium hydroxide we have taken initially? That is 2.5 millimole. So 2.5 millimole of ammonium hydroxide we have taken. So from burette, which solution we have added into ammonium hydroxide? HCl. HCl concentration is how much? 0.1 molar. What is the volume you have added so far? 2.5 ml. Therefore, we are getting this many millimoles of HCl is added. Okay, so how many millimoles of HCl we added so far? 0.25 millimole. So 0.25 millimoles of HCl we have added. They are going for reaction now. So it is reacting 0.25, remaining is 0. It is reacting 0.25. So remaining is 2.25. So ammonium chloride formed how much in the sense? 0.25 millimole. Okay, so now we will see the resultant solution. Now we will take the resultant solution. Resultant solution volume is how much in the sense? We have taken ammonium hydroxide 25 ml in the conical flask and 2.5 ml of HCl we have added. Therefore, totally how much in the sense? 27.5 ml. Volume of resultant solution is how much in the sense? 27.5 ml. Okay. Now in the resultant solution, what is there means ammonium hydroxide is there. Ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Okay, ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. Ammonium hydroxide present. Then what is present means ammonium chloride is present. This ammonium chloride is a salt of this weak acid and strong acid. This weak base and strong acid. Okay. So in the resultant solution, what is present? Ammonium hydroxide weak base is present 2.25 millimoles and ammonium chloride salt is present. This salt is this weak base and strong acid. This salt is obtained from this weak base and strong acid. Okay, so the resultant solution is what? Shall we say resultant solution is just a weak basic solution, shall we say? Or shall we say any special name for this? Yes, it is in this resultant solution, weak base is present and it's a salt of the same weak base and strong acid is present. Therefore, the resultant solution is which solution? Buffer solution. So buffer solution in the sense we have to use which equation for calculating pH? Anderson equation. Now it is weak base, it is a basic buffer. Therefore, for basic buffer, we can use so and so formula. For basic buffer, we are using so and so formula. Okay, salt by base, like this we are using. Now we will substitute pKb, we will substitute pKb, the value we are substituting. Okay, so now we can say POH is equal to pKb. pKb means minus log Kb. Kb value how much means 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 5 for ammonium hydroxide plus log salt by base. What is the salt? Salt is ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride, how much is there here? 0.25 millimoles is there. That 0.25 millimoles will substitute. 0.25 millimoles of ammonium chloride salt we have substituted. Then in denominator, what is there? Base is present. What is the base here? Weak base, ammonium hydroxide. How many millimoles present? 2.25 millimoles present. So 2.25 millimoles of ammonium hydroxide we have substituted. We are simplifying this. Then from this we can go for pH. That pH how to calculate in the sense pH plus POH is equal to 14. Now we will substitute this POH into this formula. We will get pH of resultant solution. pH is 10.21. Okay, so we got a pH of resultant solution. How much in the sense 10.21 we got. Now see, in the initially in the conical flask ammonium hydroxide only is there, that is having pH 11.13. From burette we are adding HCl. How much we added means 2.5 ml we added. What happened to the pH means pH decreased. Why pH decreased? Because we are adding acid. If you add acid, pH decreases. If you add base, pH increases. That's all. Because we have added HCl, acid we are adding, therefore pH is decreasing. Okay, sir, we will continue adding HCl. So we have reached 5 ml in the burette. Now pH is how much in the sense pH is getting reduced 9.86. Then 10 ml, totally 10 ml of HCl is added. Now pH of conical flask solution is 9.52. Then further continuation, HCl we added totally 15 ml we added. Now pH of resultant solution is 9.02. Continuation of adding 20 ml of HCl we added totally. Now pH of solution in the conical flask is 8.66. Then continuation. Now we reached 22.5 ml in the burette. Now we got 8.31 in the resultant solution in the conical flask. Next we are continuing. Now we added 23.75 ml totally. pH is how much in the sense 7.28. Then 24.88 ml is added. Till now this much is added. pH is 6.95. Okay. Now we are attaining 25 ml in the burette. That means totally we added 25 ml of HCl solution from the burette into the conical flask solution. Okay. Now you see that ammonium hydroxide is a monoacidic base. It can give 1 OH minus. HCl is a monobasic acid. It can give 1 H plus. So both will react. Both are reacting means that equation you see that that reaction ammonium hydroxide plus HCl gives ammonium chloride and water. Here ammonium hydroxide and HCl reacting equimolar with the stoichiometric coefficient. Stoichiometric coefficients for ammonium hydroxide and HCl is same. For ammonium hydroxide, stoichiometric coefficient is 1. For HCl, stoichiometric coefficient is 1. So that they will react in a equal proportion. Okay, sir. Now we will see. We have taken 25 ml of 0.1 molar ammonium hydroxide. HCl also 0.1 molar only. HCl concentration, ammonium hydroxide concentration is same. Therefore, 25 ml of ammonium hydroxide requires how many ml of HCl for complete reaction? 25 ml. Therefore, we have reached this point in the sense we have reached which point? We have reached equivalence point, we can say. We have reached equivalence point. Equivalence point means what? Reaction is over. What reaction here? Acid base neutralization. That reaction is over. That reaction is over in the sense in the conical flask. Will there be any HCl remain? No. Any ammonium hydroxide remaining? No. Therefore, what is the pH we are expecting? So what is the pH we are expecting? We'll see, and what experimental results we'll see. Then let us calculate. Is it possible to calculate pH of resultant solution? That also we'll see. Okay, so now we have reached which point in the sense equivalence point. At equivalence point, what is the pH that we have to see? Okay, so now we have reached the equivalence point. So at equivalence point, is it possible to calculate pH? That we'll see. So ammonium hydroxide reacted with HCl and gave ammonium chloride and water. Okay, initially how much ammonium hydroxide we have taken, in the sense 2.5 millimole we have taken. 2.5 millimole we have taken. That means 25 ml of ammonium hydroxide solution we have taken. Concentration is 0.1 molar. So on multiplying, we got 2.5 millimole. Okay, so and HCl. HCl concentration how much? 0.1 molar. How much we added so far? 25 ml. So multiply both, you will get millimoles. So how much millimoles? 2.5 millimoles of HCl. So how much they are reacting, that we will see. They will react, this will react 2.5, this also will react 2.5, so remaining is 0, so remaining is 0. So how much ammonium chloride is formed? 2.5 millimole of ammonium chloride is formed. Now we will see the resultant solution. The resultant solution volume we will see. Volume of resultant solution how much means ammonium hydroxide we have taken initially 25 ml, HCl we have added totally 25 ml. So net result says that volume of resultant solution is 50 ml. So in the resultant solution, what is there? Ammonium chloride is present. Ammonium chloride salt is present. Now this ammonium ion is from which one, in the sense weak base ammonium hydroxide. Therefore, this ammonium ion can undergo what, in the sense can undergo hydrolysis. Cl minus ion is from strong acid. So Cl minus ion is not undergoing hydrolysis. Okay, so here ammonium ion is undergoing hydrolysis. So in this salt, hydrolysis is possible. Which hydrolysis? In the sense cationic hydrolysis possible. Okay, so in this salt solution, what is possible, in the sense cationic hydrolysis is possible. Okay, so we are saying cationic hydrolysis here. So now we will take a cationic hydrolysis. So what is a cationic hydrolysis? In the sense ammonium ion reacting with the water. Ammonium ion takes a OH minus from water. Therefore, ammonium ion becomes ammonium hydroxide. And in water, what is the remaining? In the sense H plus is the remaining. Okay, so we have written hydrolysis equation like this. So how much ammonium ion we have? How much ammonium ion is produced from the ammonium chloride? That we'll see. Now ammonium chloride how much produced means 2.5 millimole. This is a salt, so it undergoes ionization. So it is undergoing complete ionization we will take. Otherwise, if it is mentioned, you take that percentage. So it is undergoing complete ionization, in the sense ammonium ions from ammonium chloride is how much? 2.5 millimole we can say. So 2.5 millimole of ammonium ion undergoing, we have taken for hydrolysis. In this X millimole undergoing hydrolysis. Why to say X millimole undergoing hydrolysis? Why don't we say it is undergoing complete hydrolysis? So for that case, we will see the equilibrium constant. From equilibrium constant, we will conclude whether it will undergo complete hydrolysis or partial hydrolysis. We will see. Equilibrium constant is Kh, that is equal to Kw by Kb. Kw is called 10 power minus 14. Kb for ammonium hydroxide is 1.8 into 10 to the power of minus 5. Therefore, it is equal to 10 to the power of minus 9 by 1.8. It is the equilibrium constant. The equilibrium constant is 10 power minus 9. That means equilibrium constant is very low. No? This indicates that 10 power minus 9, in the sense the equilibrium lies almost left. Almost left in the sense, can we predict that ammonium ion can undergo complete hydrolysis? No. So ammonium ion undergoes partial hydrolysis. Therefore, this many millimoles of ammonium ions is remaining. So ammonium hydroxide produced how much, in the sense X millimoles produced. H plus produced how much, in the sense X millimoles produced. X millimoles of H plus is produced, we can say. Then this hydrolysis constant is what, in the sense Kh, that Kh is equal to concentration of ammonium hydroxide into concentration of H plus by concentration of ammonium ion. Okay. Now we can say ammonium hydroxide concentration and H plus concentration are equal. Therefore, we can say H plus square by concentration of ammonium ion, we can say. Now we will substitute the value. Kh is called hydrolysis constant, that we know, that is 10 power minus 9 by 1.8, that we are substituting. Then we want concentration of H plus in order to find pH. So we have to substitute ammonium ion. Ammonium ion is 2.5 minus X. That we will take it as 2.5. We will take it as this is millimoles of what in the sense ammonium ion. What is the resultant solution volume in the sense 50 ml, that we will substitute. So we are getting concentration of ammonium ion at equilibrium. Okay, from this what we can find in the sense concentration of H plus in the resultant solution we can find. Okay, so we got we are getting concentration of H plus in the resultant solution, that is equal to 0.529 into 10 to the power of minus 5 molar. Therefore, from this we are getting pH of solution. pH of solution is how much in the sense 5.27. Okay, we got pH of solution. So pH of solution we got how much means 5.27. That 5.27 we'll write here. So now see that at equivalence point we are not getting pH 7. Why we are not getting pH 7? Because of salt hydrolysis. In the salt, which part is undergoing hydrolysis? Cation is undergoing hydrolysis. Cation on hydrolysis makes the resultant solution what? Acidic. Okay, cationic hydrolysis means the resultant solution will be acidic. Acidic in the sense pH is less than 7. That's why we got pH is less than 7. How much here in the sense 5.27 we got. Okay, so let us continue adding HCl from the burette into the conical flask. Now we have reached 26 ml. Now let us calculate the pH of resultant solution. Okay, so now we have to find a pH of resultant solution. We have to find. So now we will take the reaction. What is the reaction means? Ammonium hydroxide reacting with HCl to give what in the sense ammonium chloride and water. Ammonium hydroxide we have taken in the conical flask initially. How much means 25 ml. Concentration is 0.1 molar. On multiplying we are getting millimoles, that is 2.5 millimoles. We are getting 2.5 millimoles of ammonium hydroxide, that is we have taken initially. So for how much HCl we have added? 26 ml. Concentration 0.1 molar. Multiply both, you will get millimoles, that is 2.6 millimoles. Okay, so how much ammonium hydroxide reacting means 2.5, HCl reacting 2.5, remaining is 0.1. Here remaining is 0. Ammonium chloride formed how much in the sense 2.5. Okay, these are there. So now we will take a resultant solution. In resultant solution, volume is how much in the sense conical flask solution is 25 ml initially. HCl we have added 26 ml, therefore totally 51 ml. Resultant solution volume is 51 ml. Now in the resultant solution, what and all is present in the sense salt ammonium chloride is produced. Ammonium chloride how much means 2.5 millimoles is produced. Then HCl remaining is there. How much HCl remaining is there means 0.1 millimole is present. HCl remaining is 0.1 millimole. Okay. Now in this ammonium chloride salt, this cation ammonium ion can undergo hydrolysis. So now we will go for hydrolysis. This ammonium ion on hydrolysis gives what in the sense ammonium hydroxide and HCl, and in water what is the remaining means H plus is the remaining. Okay, so now you see that this ammonium ion on hydrolysis, gives what? Ammonium ion on hydrolysis gives ammonium hydroxide and H plus. Now in this resultant solution HCl is there. This HCl is a strong acid. It undergoes complete ionization. Therefore it is giving H plus. It is giving what? It is giving H plus, it is giving. This HCl is producing H plus. That means, is it giving common ion to the equilibrium? Yes, it is giving common ion. What common ion? H plus is the common ion. Due to HCl, this concentration of this H plus is getting raised. Therefore, what happens? Backward is favoring. Already we said equilibrium. Equilibrium constant for this is 10 power minus 9. Here equilibrium is almost left, we said. Equilibrium is almost left, we said. Now, newly HCl is there in the resultant solution. This HCl is giving H plus common ion. Due to common ion effect, backward is favoring. Backward is favoring in the sense, then is there any necessity to consider H plus from ammonium ion hydrolysis? That means actually here H plus in the sense, one is given by which one in the sense HCl. HCl is how much remaining? 0.1 millimole. HCl 0.1 millimole is remaining. That is giving a 0.1 millimole of H plus. Then this ammonium ion undergoes hydrolysis and giving H plus, that is suppose Y millimole. Now we can say this y is negligible to this 0.1. Therefore, we can consider H plus is from HCl. We can neglect ammonium ion hydrolysis. Why we are neglecting ammonium ion hydrolysis in the sense, main reason is what, in the sense hydrolysis constant is 10 power minus 9. Already it is 10 power minus 9 means equilibrium is almost left. Here in addition this HCl in the resultant solution, remaining HCl is there, that gives common ion. Therefore common ion effect makes still backward. Therefore what we can do, we can neglect this y. This y is contributed by y amount of H plus is contributed by this ammonium ion and hydrolysis, that is negligible with respect to 0.1. Therefore we have taken like this. Sorry, okay. So now we will go for, now we can say that in the resultant solution concentration of HCl, we can consider that concentration will take HCl present 0.1 millimole in the resultant solution. What is the volume of resultant solution means 51 ml. Therefore on simplifying this, we will get a concentration of HCl. So concentration of HCl we are getting this much. It is equal to concentration of H plus. From this we can find pH of the solution. pH of the solution is this much. Now we got a pH of the solution. We got that pH of solution is how much, in the sense 2.707. Okay. So pH of resultant solution we have got it. So let us continue adding this HCl from the burette. So 28 ml we have added. Now pH of solution is still reducing, that is 2.186. Okay. So here what happened to the pH, in the sense pH goes on reducing here. Okay. So how the pH change takes place near the equivalence point and away from equivalence point, those points we will discuss now. Okay. So now we will take a here pH 11.13, here 2.5 ml HCl we added. How much pH reduced? You see that around 1. Then here you see that around 2.5 ml we added. How much pH reduced? You see around 0.4. Here 5 ml we added. How much pH reduced? In the sense around 0.4. Here 5 ml we added. How much pH reduced? In the sense around 0.4. Here 5 ml pH reduced around 0.4. Here 2.5 ml we added. pH reduced 0.3. See, so far 5 ml we added. pH reduced 0.4, 0.4 like this. Here 2.5 ml we added. pH reduced 0.35. Here if you see from this point to this point, you see that how much we added. You see that how much we added, in the sense around 1.25. Around 1.25 ml we added. How much pH reducing? You see nearly 1. Okay. So far did we add so and so? More than this only we added, no? But here only pH reducing more. Okay. Next step you see that here what is the difference? You see that nearly you can say that 1 ml, shall we say? Nearly 1 ml. So nearly 1 ml, in the sense how much pH reducing? You see that pH reduces here 7.28, here 6.95 is there. Therefore around 0.3, 0.4 reducing. Here 25 ml, that means how much we are adding? Say just 0.22 ml we are adding. Just 0.12 ml we are adding. Just we are adding 0.12 ml. How much pH reduces? You see that nearly nearly how much reduces, in the sense nearly 0.7. Okay. How much we are adding HCl here? Just 0.12 ml we are adding. How much pH reducing? Around 0.5 reducing, around 0.7 reducing. Therefore near the equivalence point, pH changes drastically, shall we say? pH changes drastically. Correct? So pH changes drastically near the equivalence point. Then 25 to 26, you see that how much reducing? See here 5, here 2.7, exactly becoming off. Like this in these places and all not happen, because it is near the equivalence point. Therefore near the equivalence point, what happens to the pH? In the sense reducing much. Near the equivalence point pH reduces much, we can say. Then 26 to 28 ml, how much ml we added? In the sense 2 ml we added. How much pH reducing? just 0.5 or 0.6, this much only reducing. So near the equivalence point, pH reduces much, but away from the equivalence point, pH changing slightly, isn't it? So now we will see the graph here. How the graph will be there, we'll see. Here we'll take a pH of the solution, we'll take here. Here burette solution reading, we will write volume of HCl added, because we have taken HCl in the burette. So volume of HCl added we will write here. Okay. Now we will draw the graph. How the graph will come here, we'll see. pH, what happens, going on reducing. So pH goes on reducing. Near the equivalence point, what happens, pH reduces drastically. pH reduces drastically, then pH reduces normally reducing. Okay, so we are getting graph like this. So now at center point we will take here, that is called a equivalence point. We can say corresponding pH we will get here. Corresponding pH we can get here. Okay, so this is a graph for a weak base versus strong acid titration. Now let us go for which indicator is suitable for this titration. That we will see. Which indicator is suitable, which acid base indicator is suitable for this titration, we'll see. Because ammonium hydroxide is colorless solution, HCl also colorless solution. To find the equivalence point, we have to add third substance, that is called indicator, that will indicate the equivalence point, otherwise indicate the end point. Okay, so to find the end point, we are going for which one, in the sense indicator we are taking. Okay, which indicator is suitable for this titration, we'll see. Now we will take phenolphthalein indicator. For that, pH ranges 8.3 to 10. Up to 8.3, phenolphthalein shows colorless. From 10 onwards, phenolphthalein shows pink color. Let us add phenolphthalein into this one. Now we have added phenolphthalein into conical flask solution. In the conical flask, at this place only ammonium hydroxide is there. So pH is 11.13. That means pH is greater than 10. pH is greater than 10 means phenolphthalein gives pink color. Okay, here also phenolphthalein gives pink color only. Here what is happening? Pink color intensity reduces. Here pink color intensity reduces, we can say. So intensity is going on reducing. At this place almost colorless. Here almost colorless. Okay, colorless we can say. Here and all what will be there, in the sense only colorless will be continuing. Therefore, phenolphthalein, if you take the pink color becomes colorless at which point, in the sense 22.5 ml. Equivalence point is what? 25 ml. What is the difference? 2.5 ml is different. So 2.5 ml is different, in the sense, can we use this indicator for finding equivalence point? No. How the indicator should be there? Indicator should give color change at least near the equivalence point. At least near the equivalence point means what? Difference should be 0.1 ml or 0.2 ml or 0.3 ml, like this should be there. But here how much difference is there? 2.5 ml difference is there. Then how to use this indicator for this titration? So we cannot use phenolphthalein indicator for this titration. Why? Because phenolphthalein indicator gives color change. Okay, away from the equivalence point. Therefore, using phenolphthalein is not good. Okay, sir. Next, we will take another indicator. Methyl orange we will take. Now we are taking methyl orange. Can we use this or not? We'll see. For this, pH range is how much, in the sense 3.1 to 4.4. At up to 3.1, this phenolphthalein gives what color, in the sense red color. From 4.4 onwards, this phenolphthalein gives yellow color. Okay, sir. So now we will see what about this one. We'll see. Sir, here what happens means methyl orange we are taking. Let us add methyl orange into this place. Methyl orange will give what to the conical flask solution? Okay, methyl orange, we have added methyl orange gives yellow color to the conical flask solution. Initially, this yellow color continues till here. Here also continuing. Here also what is there means yellow color only is there. Yellow color only is there. Here only what is happening? The color changed to red. Color changes to red. So after the equivalence point only color is changing. Therefore, this methyl orange we can use as a suitable indicator for this titration. That means using methyl orange we cannot find equivalence point, but we can find a end point. We can find. Okay, for finding end point we can use a methyl orange indicator. Okay, it is not giving equivalence point. Okay, it is giving endpoint. That endpoint is after the equivalence point, but closer to the equivalence point. So next we will take another indicator. What is that indicator name? Methyl red. Methyl red we will take, that is having pH range 4.2 to 6.3. We will take the color is what in the sense up to 4.2 red, from 6.3 onwards what in the sense yellow color. This methyl red, let us add here, that methyl red gives a yellow color to the conical flask solution. Yellow color is continuing like this, continuing here also. What means yellow color only will be there. Here also what means yellow color. Here also yellow color. Here what will happen in the sense yellow color will not be there. Yellow plus red will be there. Yellow plus red. Here what means red. Therefore, we can use this methyl red to find endpoint we can find. Okay, using endpoint, we can use this methyl red indicator we can use. So now some other indicator will take. So for example, we'll take the indicator called bromothymol blue. What is the indicator we are taking in the sense? Bromothymol blue indicator will take. Do you know the pH range of bromothymol blue? Okay. Now we'll see pH range of bromothymol blue 6 to 7.6. 6 to 7.6. At up to 6 yellow color. Up to 6 yellow color. From 7.6 onwards, what color in the sense? Blue color. This is what indicator means bromothymol blue. Bromothymol blue is the indicator. Okay. Let us add bromothymol blue into the conical flask solution. The conical flask solution gets what color in the sense? Blue color it gets. The blue color continues. Okay, till the blue color continues up to which place in the sense? Up to this place. Up to this place, blue color. Now what happens in the sense? Here what happens means yellow color plus blue color. Here also what means yellow color plus blue color. Here what is the color in the sense at this place? Yellow color we can say. At this place yellow color. Therefore, we can say this bromothymol blue is suitable indicator for this titration, we can say. Sir, okay. Next titration will take, what is that in the sense? Weak acid versus weak base titration will take. Sir. Now, we will discuss what are the titrations we have discussed so far. We will take now one titration is strong acid versus strong base titration. Here near the equivalence point, pH changed drastically, isn't it? Then weak acid versus strong base we have discussed here near the equivalence point, pH changed drastically. What is the change in pH near the equivalence point here and near the equivalence point here? What do you say? Change in pH near the equivalence point here will be high. Change in pH near the equivalence point here will be low. Isn't it? Same thing we have observed for a strong acid versus a weak base titration. Therefore, if weakness is coming, if instead of stronger, if weak is participating, what happens? Change in pH near the equivalence point getting reduced, isn't it? Here both are strong acid and strong base. Here both are strong. Change in pH near the equivalence point is high, but here less. If both are weak acid versus weak base, if both are weak, how the change in pH near the equivalence point will be there? Much less when compared to this, isn't it? Therefore, this weak acid versus weak base titration in the sense change in pH near the equivalence point is much less. Therefore, which indicator shall we use for this titration? Shall we use any indicator for a weak acid versus weak base? No, we cannot use acid base indicator for doing titration between weak acid and weak base, because here change in pH near the equivalence point will be much low when compared to this. Therefore, no indicator is suitable for this titration. So acid base indicator